So now that Spider-Man, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and Alan Wake 2 have been out for a couple days now, or a couple weeks respectively, it's safe to say that the Game Awards Game of the Year, the most prestigious award at this ceremony, is going to be very interesting this year. And I say this because there are a lot of heavy hitters this year. There's Baldur's Gate 3, there's Tears of the Kingdom, there's Alan Wake 2, there's Spider-Man 2, there's even Super Mario Bros. Wonder for some people, there's Hogwarts Legacy for some people, even though I don't really think it's a competition. There's Starfield for some people, Hi-Fi Rush. There were so many great games to come out this year, but Alan Wake 2 triumphs every single one of them. If you haven't had the chance to play Alan Wake 2, I'm not going to spoil it in this video because I think this is a game that I want to actually wait a few months to really dive into, because I want everyone to really experience this game, because it is something special. It is one of the reasons video games to me are such a great form of visual communication. Alan Wake 2 proved to me that video games can do not only horror and story really well and balance that really well, but just games that are unique and are not the same thing copied and pasted over and over again exist. Sam Lake and the people over at Remedy Entertainment have crafted a game that has really revigorized my sense of love for single player experiences. And even though it's a survival horror game and the gameplay might not be the best, which I'll go over in a little bit on my downsides of the game, this game is almost perfect for me. And I'm not someone who absolutely loves the first Alan Wake game. I love the story and I love the world that Remedy has been building since 2010, but I hated the gameplay in that game. I didn't really like Quantum Break. Control was decent in my opinion, but for some reason, something about this game just clicks with me, and it's a game I'm going to be playing for the rest of the year. I will say I am a pretty big horror fan in general when it comes to films, television, and video games, so you can call that bias as you will. It's not like Remedy gave me a code for this game, but I'm telling it how it is. This game is amazing. You can play it on Xbox, you can play it on PS5, you can play it on PC if your computer is very strong, but I've heard that it's almost overselling itself, that a lot of the graphics that people were worried about and the requirements for computers that people had questions with was really just an oversell on Remedy's part. I really don't want to touch the story of this game because that is the part that just hammers it home to me as the best game of the year, and honestly probably my favorite game of the past few years. It's just something about Sam Lake and the way he crafts the stories and the lore of this universe is just perfect. A friend of mine, Alex, or Podcast Now, equates Sam Lake to the creator of Kingdom Hearts in the way that the lore is very lucrative, and sometimes it's just really messy on purpose, and that's true in this game, but it does it in a way that makes you want to unravel everything. My biggest fear going into this game was how they were going to split the time between Alan Wake and Saga Anderson, the new protagonist or second protagonist in this game, and they did it perfectly. I thought that her portions of the game were done really well in the real world, and then Alan's portions of the game that take place in the Dark Place were perfect. There was really nothing between the two of them that I disliked. Again, without spoiling this game, the way Alan can just rewrite a scene at any point is something that I would have never really thought of in terms of experiencing at the scale that it happens in this game. And then with Saga, every ability that she has as the FBI agent character is just done perfectly. I can't really explain it. The way that Saga's gameplay focuses around profiling and investigation, and the investigation board that you have to do as this character, is another part of the game that I didn't even know existed before this game. I did not watch a lot of story trailers for this game. I didn't even make a video on this game this entire time. And it's just been a game that I've been slowly anticipating and tracking. And again, I wasn't anticipating this game to be my favorite game of the year. I wanted Spider-Man 2 to be my favorite game of the year because, as I've said in those two videos I've made for the game, I'm a huge Venom fan. And it kind of hurts to say that this game blows Spider-Man 2 out of the water in terms of story quality, but it really, really does. And that's not a knock on Spider-Man 2 in any way. I loved that game, but there were a lot of things that just didn't mesh well with me, while in this game, the story is just perfect, and you really don't have to be 100% familiar with the world before going into this game. Of course, it helps to know the lore behind Alan Wake, behind Quantum Break, behind Control, and just the overall Remedy universe that they've been crafting, but at the same time, you really don't need to, because Saga is a new character. It's her first time experiencing this world, and the game does a really good job of catering towards newer people. Probably my favorite part about this game is its uniqueness and its wackiness. This game is weird. It is flat out strange a lot of the time, and that's something that video games just have not been doing recently. A lot of the games that come out every year are the same. You have your Call of Duties every year, your NBA 2K games every year, your Madden games every year, your FIFA games every year, your racing games every year. There's not a lot of story-driven, horrifying experiences like this game that also pick your brain and make you want to come back and solve every portion. The other wacky element of this game is the way it blends real footage and game footage. It's honestly terrifying. It's something I didn't really like before playing this game. I'm not really a fan of meshing real world footage into a video game, but it does it really well, and the transition from Alan's real actor to the video game model is perfect. This game is gorgeous. There are scenes where there will be real life footage or photos on walls, and you're playing as Alan, and it's a trippy experience to have, but it's in a very good way. It's also genuinely scary, so if you're looking for a horror game before Halloween, this game is really good. It's gonna scare you. It scared the shit out of me many times. There are a lot of corners that you are expecting something to happen, and then it doesn't, and then it happens 3 seconds later, or it does happen, but in just a different way. I know that the death scene or the death animation went viral a couple days before this game came out when the reviews dropped, and it is terrifying every time. It's just truly a horror game, and they've embraced it. And even though it plays very similarly to the newer survival horror games and the genres, it is very unique in the same way. My biggest gripe with the original Alan Wake game was the gameplay, and I played that game at a time where gameplay meant everything for me. I wasn't really a story-driven video game consumer back in 2010, but now I can look past it, and I can say with confidence they upgraded it for this game. It feels a lot better. It still just isn't where I would like it to be, and just very narrowly clicks this game down from absolute perfection. I think if they had tweaked the gameplay here and there, tweaked the dodging mechanics here and there, not made it felt like it was very clunky, maybe changed some of the ways looting and shooting works, I think this game would be easily one of the best games ever made. And I don't say that lightly because I play a lot of games. So that's all I'm going to say about Alan Wake 2. You need to play this game if you haven't already. If you're a Sony fanboy or an Xbot or a Nintendo head, it doesn't matter. You need to find a way to experience this game because it is genuinely one of the most special experiences we've had crafted by a studio. Remedy just knows what they're doing. They're easily my favorite studio now. I can't wait to see what they do moving forward. And the rest of this year is going to be interesting because I don't think anything is going to live up to this game, but I still have to play Mario Wonder, so I guess we'll see with that one. But this game just dethroned Hi-Fi Rush as my favorite game of the year, and it's not even really close. I'm going to probably replay this game. I'm excited to see what the DLCs bring. I think once they really release all of the different games and all the all the different DLCs and all the different side content, then I'm going to do like a full deep dive into the story of this game because I think it's super special and I think everyone deserves to play it. But if you haven't, please go find a way to play this game. Anyways, 13 years was way too long of a wait. I'm glad Remedy got to cook for a long time. I hope this game sells well so they can make another one. I don't even know what else to say. Thank you guys for watching, and please go experience this game if you haven't already.